Hey guys, Dan here with Battlefield Curator. Over the last 5 years, we've noticed a dramatic increase in military surplus rifles, pistols, and collectibles. So why is it? Why is that the price has just gone up so far, so high up there? I mean, it's unreachable for some of us. Let's go and dive into it. Why? I think that these military surplus collectibles have gone up so dramatically within the last 5 years. All right, reason number one, I would say, is the millennial generations. My generation, maybe even some Gen Zers. Either way, younger generations, right? Younger generations, they grew up playing video games that were like first person shooters that probably featured a lot of these military rifles. And now that these generations have grown up and probably got decent careers, they can afford some of those military collectibles. And when they go out and they see them in the store, they know about them because they are like, hey, that's recognizable. I've seen that in the video game. I kind of know how that operates. So they go and they pick those things up. And it's interesting because some of these guys, they don't have an idea of what it's worth. They just know, hey, I've seen that before and I can buy it. And when you think about some of the older generations, they were probably watching TV shows and movies as well. Like they might have watched The Longest Day, A Bridge Too Far, Tora Tora Tora, and they also probably knew a lot of relatives that served in those wars, and they're really close to them. So they also might have grown up during that era where there was plentiful amounts of them everywhere, and they were really cheap. And so maybe their friend got one, or maybe they got one, and then they just kind of snowballed, and they were just collecting them. Well, nowadays, these younger generations like me, we probably are influenced by not just movies like Saving Private Ryan and TV shows like Band of Brother, but also the video games. Just so many people playing video games these days, especially the younger generations. I mean, I grew up with my dad watching movies, but he never played video games with me. Well, if you think about it now, a lot of the generations now are growing up with their fathers playing video games with them as they're growing up. So it would only make sense that we're in a video game generation now. So, video games, movies, and TV shows highly influential in the military surplus demand. And speaking of demand, the number two reason why I think that military surplus prices have gone up is supply and demand. Supply. A lot of World War II surplus coming into the country now um, is not that great. It's not in the best condition. They've been probably sitting around in third world countries for a while, and even if you do find a good batch, the demand is high and they will get snatched up pretty quick. There's also the demand for a lot of these collectibles because of the many generations now that are coming about. So because of the younger generations coming about now that want to get into these things, there's a higher demand for them, which raises the price. While the supply is low because they don't make them like that anymore, or they don't make those World War II guns anymore, which some companies are going to be manufacturing them or have manufactured them as new productions. Like Fulton Armory makes M1 carbines. You have the GSG that has the MP40 that's semi-auto, but at the same time, there's so much supply that had already been bought up. So whatever's there is pretty much probably going to be there for a long while, and the demand is just going up. All right, number three, the pandemic. Who doesn't know about the pandemic? Like everybody was getting stimulus checks, everybody was buying stuff. Yeah, people were getting unemployment. They were getting paid more unemployment than they would if they were just working a regular 9 to 5 job. So it, a little bit of disposable income for a lot of these people. Also, people were getting into the boogaloo. You know, people were thinking about survival. They were thinking about, hey, I need a rifle to take out in case I have to leave town because the city catches fire and there's no power, electricity, and the means of survival is pretty rough. So people were thinking about those things and they were getting a lot of money, so they were buying up stuff, ammo, guns, and so that caused the prices to go up dramatically as well. Now, we have seen kind of a slowdown, obviously, because no one's really getting stimulus checks anymore. So yeah, the demand right now has gone down since of a couple years ago, mainly because of we're not getting all this disposable income anymore. All right, number four, online auctions, online shops, online shopping. All these things online are making it easier for collectors to scoop up what they want to add to their collection. The websites, the internet's been around for a long time, but there's a lot more younger generations that pretty much buy everything online, where you might have older generations that don't look online too often. You could say that online auction websites can be very addicting because it's kind of like gambling and people want to win and they will pretty much try to outbid somebody because they see it as competition for something that they could probably just wait for and it might come back at a cheaper value somewhere else, or it might show up at a local gun shop. But for the most part, the online shopping experience has drastically made it easier for people to buy collectibles online and get it shipped to their house or get it shipped to an FFL. And the FFL transfer fees are still decently priced. They're pretty cheap, and those local gun shops, they compete with each other, so they tend to try to draw in more customers that way by keeping their FFL transfers cheaper. Right, number five, information, the flow of information. Over the last, 10 years, 20 years, the internet has made it easy for you to find out whatever you need to know. Now, some stuff can take a while to research, and some stuff that you research might not be correct. So you have to make sure that you're reading the right sources and cross-referencing sources as well. So when it comes down to it, social media has also made it easier to share information. Think about YouTube. You're watching this video. This is an informational video. People will search these topics or see these topics and they want to learn about them. Well, these social media platforms have made it so much easier to share information. So somebody that might have seen a rifle in a video game and said, hey, you know what? I might get that. And they're looking online and they're reading about it online. Then they say, let me look up a video real quick. So they go look up a 10-minute video about a rifle they want to get for their collection that they saw in a video game, and they really don't know much about it or don't really care about the price. They just say, you know what, I can afford that. And they watch this 10-minute video. Now they feel like they know all about it. And it just feeds into their the way of thinking. And they immediately purchase it easily through this website and it gets shipped to their FFL. So I just kind of tied that all in there uh, for the most part. And during the pandemic, a lot of people were buying online. So you have to also remember that people were buying a lot online and spending a lot of time online and reading information because there was nothing much else to do. A lot of people were out of work and people were working from home. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think the military surplus collectibles are going to go down in price? Do you think it's kind of going to steady out for a while, or do you think that it's just going to keep going up? Like it has been. With that being said, be sure to pulverize that like button if you haven't and subscribe as well. And as always, be sure to learn history and curate history. Make it a great day.